Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you are standing at a crossroads. The wind carries the faint echo of someone calling your name, not urgently, not in crisis, but in that familiar tone. The tone that always means one thing: they need something from you. Your chest tightens. Your jaw locks. And before a single rational thought can surface, your mouth has already opened, and the word that spills out is the one you always give, the one you were trained to give, the one the world has come to expect from you. But tonight, everything changes. Because that moment, that half second before your voice speaks, is where your entire life is decided. It is the space between the person the world has shaped you to be and the person you were born to become. And in that invisible space lives the most underestimated power a human being can possess, the power to say no, gently, firmly, and without apology. This is not a lesson about being cold. It is not about building walls or turning your back on the world. This is about something ancient, something the Stoics whispered into the wind thousands of years ago and the modern world has nearly forgotten: the sacred art of protecting your energy, claiming your freedom, and choosing your life before time makes the choice for you. Lesson 1: Your time is not renewable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." But before you can master your mind, you must master your moments. Time does not wait for you to feel ready. It does not pause while you scroll, people please, or explain yourself to those who were never truly listening. Every hour you pour into the wrong people, the wrong obligations, the wrong version of yourself, is an hour that will never, ever return. Picture an hourglass. Not in a classroom, not in a museum, but in your hands. Right now. Feel the weight of it. Watch the sand falling. Every grain is a day. Every grain is a choice. And most people only start counting when the glass is nearly empty. Lesson 2: Your energy is your currency. The ancient Stoics did not divide the world into rich and poor. They divided it into those who wasted their inner resources, and those who guarded them like treasure. You are not unlimited. You are not a well with no bottom. Every conversation that drains you, every relationship built on obligation, every morning spent doing what others expect, these are withdrawals from an account that was never infinite. Think of the most alive you have ever felt. Truly alive, vibrant, clear, full of fire. Now ask yourself honestly, how long has it been since you felt that way? And more importantly, who and what has been making withdrawals from you without ever making a deposit? Guard your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. Lesson 3: A boundary is an act of love. We were taught that saying no is selfish. That setting limits means you do not care. That the mark of a good person is an open door and an endless supply of yes. The Stoics knew better. Epictetus, who was born a slave and earned his freedom through philosophy, understood that a man with no boundaries is a man who still wears chains. He wrote not of isolation, but of discernment, choosing where your energy flows, and with whom your hours are spent. A gentle no is not the closing of a door. It is the opening of a window to better air, better light, better life. It says, I respect myself enough to be honest. I respect you enough to not pretend. Lesson 4: Let go of what was never yours to carry. Look around you, and I mean this literally, metaphorically, spiritually. How many burdens on your shoulders were placed there by someone else's fear, someone else's guilt, someone else's unfinished story? You are not your parents' unresolved pain. You are not your partner's emotional landfill. You are not your workplace's hero, your family's savior, or your friend group's therapist, not if it is costing you your own becoming. There is a particular kind of exhaustion that does not come from hard work. It comes from carrying what was never yours to carry. And the moment you set it down, the moment your hands finally open and you let the weight fall, you will feel something you may have forgotten is possible. You will feel light. Lesson 5. Invest in yourself without guilt. Seneca wrote, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." When you scatter yourself across every demand, every emergency, every cry for attention, that is not yours to answer, you disappear. Not physically, but essentially. The version of you with dreams, with fire, with a direction, that version quietly starves. Investing in yourself is not vanity. Reading the book, taking the course, sleeping the full night, eating the meal that nourishes rather than numbs, these are not luxuries. They are the architecture of a life. Every hour you spend becoming more whole, more skilled, more yourself, is an hour that compounds. That pays dividends in ways money never could. Lesson 6. Choose your people as you would choose your air. The people around you are not neutral. They are either lift or gravity. And most of us spend decades being polite to the ones who are pulling us down, while neglecting the rare few who make us feel like we can breathe. The Stoics called this choosing your circle with intention. Not cruelty, intention. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge your thinking, who celebrate your growth without envy, who show up not when it is convenient but when it matters. You become the average of the 5 people closest to you. Look around right now. Are those 5 people the ones you would have chosen, or the ones life handed you by default? Because you are allowed to choose again. You are always allowed to choose again. Lesson 7. Gratitude is the lens that changes everything. And finally, the lesson that holds all the others together. It is easy to guard your time when you are angry. It is easy to say no when you are exhausted and resentful. But the Stoics taught something deeper, the cultivation of genuine gratitude, not as a performance, not as a social media caption, but as a daily, deliberate act of seeing clearly. When you are truly grateful for this life, for your breath, your capacity to grow, the morning light that has the audacity to show up again, saying no becomes less about rejection and more about reverence. You are not closing a door. You are saying, this life is precious. I will not waste it. The time is now. Here is what no one tells you about old age. It is not the things you did that haunt you. It is the life you kept postponing, the conversation you never had, the boundary you never drew, the dream you fed to other people's expectations. The Stoic philosophy was never about detachment from life. It was about engagement with life on the deepest possible level, living with purpose, protecting your peace, choosing every day with the full awareness that this day will not come again. You do not need to be ruthless. You do not need to be cold. You do not need to burn every bridge or disappear from the world. You simply need to practice, one moment at a time, one gentle no at a time, the sacred, revolutionary act of choosing yourself. Not out of selfishness. Out of love. For the life you were given. For the person you still have time to become. For every morning that has waited patiently for you to finally, truly arrive. Until next time, stay rooted, stay intentional, and stay free.